There have been some changes recently at Universal Studios Hollywood inside Super Nintendo World, and Epic Universe is opening their very own Super Nintendo World very soon, so now feels like the perfect time to do a quick refresher on power-up bands and how they work. First, let's talk designs, characters, and prices. There are 7 different power-up bands that you can choose from. All of them cost $42 each, except for the Gold Mario band, which is $47. Each power-up band comes in its own box that includes a map with some details about the power-up bands and how you can link your bands to the Universal Studios app. Linking your power-up band is really easy to do. Just open the Universal Studios Hollywood app, navigate to where it says Super Nintendo World, and you're going to see this tab that says New Way to Play Super Nintendo World. Click that, and it's going to take you into this screen. On the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see this box that says Options. Click on that. It will take you to a screen that says Add Band, and then you will scan the QR code on the back of your band to add it to your app. You can link and manage multiple bands in your Universal Studios app. To go back and forth between the bands that you have linked, just click the yellow arrows to the left and right of the character. We are going to talk a lot about how the app works, but the first thing we're going to talk about is how to win these 3 golden keys. Super Nintendo World is set up like a giant interactive video game, and just like a regular video game, you basically have to beat certain levels to get to the most important level to win the game. At Super Nintendo World, if you want to beat the game, you need to win the golden mushroom, which is in Bowser Jr.'s lair. But to get to Bowser Jr.'s lair, you first need 3 golden keys to enter his lair. And the way to win those 3 golden keys is by playing 4 different power-up band games within Super Nintendo World. Each time you win a game, you get a golden key. As long as you win at least 3 of the 4 games, you will win 3 golden keys, and you can use those keys to help you enter Bowser Jr.'s lair. The 4 games that you need to play to try to win your golden keys are the Piranha Plant Nap Mishap, Goomba Crazy Crank, Koopa Troopa Power Punch, and Thwomp Panel Panic. Once you have won at least 3 of the 4 games that I just showed you, you will get this golden star in the app, and then you can access Bowser Jr.'s lair. Once you have entered Bowser Jr.'s lair, you get to play the biggest game in Super Nintendo World and try to win the Golden Mushroom. And now that you know how to win the Golden Mushroom, let's talk about some other things that you can do inside Super Nintendo World using your power-up band. Now, if we take a look back in the app, you will see that the app also keeps track of the gold coins that you win and the stamps that you collect. And the app collects data over time because the power-up bands are reusable. So if you click around on the app, you can see here that we've collected 18 keys and 9,800 gold coins over time. And we've also collected a lot of stamps. Earning stamps in Super Nintendo World is also really interesting because stamps are not just a fun thing to earn, but when you earn stamps, you also earn gold coins. Each stamp you win is worth a different number of gold coins. Some stamps are repeatable and some stamps can only be used one time. And don't get confused if you're looking at the stamps in your app and you see a small exclamation point. The only thing the exclamation point means is that you have not yet clicked on the stamp to read what the stamp's description is. Once you've clicked on the stamp and learned its description, the exclamation point will go away. There are so many different ways in Super Nintendo World to earn stamps and gold coins. You can learn all about the different ways to earn these stamps inside the app, but I'm going to share some of our favorite ways that we've earned stamps and gold coins. The most common way to earn is just by walking around Super Nintendo World and finding power-up boxes and brick blocks and going underneath them and punching up. These boxes are all over Super Nintendo World and they're very easy to interact with. However, when you are using your power-up bands, you want to punch up towards the power-up box. Do not hit the top of your band against the bottom of the power-up boxes, because if you hit the top of your band underneath the boxes, you can break your band. The next, and possibly most fun way to win stamps and gold coins using your power-up band is by riding Mario Kart. When you first get on the ride, make sure to tap your power-up band to your steering wheel. This way, the app will count and collect any gold coins or stamps that you earned while on the Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge ride. And each time you ride Mario Kart, you get the Golden Cup trophy, and each time you get that trophy, you also get an additional 65 coins, and you can win this every time you visit Super Nintendo World. And the third way that we like to earn stamps and gold coins at Super Nintendo World is by meeting the characters. Each time you're going to meet a character, just make sure to have the team member that's helping the character scan your power-up band. The next thing you need to know about power-up bands is that there are actually a couple of hidden power-up band games throughout Super Nintendo World that you just kind of have to know about. The first one of these games is up this staircase across from the exit of Bowser Jr.'s lair. Up here, you can find this bonus power-up band game that won't win you any golden keys, but is very fun to play. And there's actually a couple different versions of games that you can play here on this interactive projection screen. In this upstairs area, there's also these binoculars that you can look through and see characters moving around the land, and you can use these binoculars to earn stamps. And that's not all that you can find in this upstairs area. Upstairs, you can also find the first of 4 hidden 8-bit characters that are located inside Super Nintendo World. Upstairs here is where you can find Luigi, but throughout Super Nintendo World, you can also find Daisy, Mario, and Bowser. And the last hidden game that I want to share with you that is in Super Nintendo World is actually just inside the lobby of Toadstool Cafe. When you walk into the lobby of Toadstool Cafe, look to the left where you're going to see a series of 3 circles. Tap your power-up band to one of the gifts and you will win a prize. I know this has been a lot of information on power-up bands, but there are 3 last things I want to share with you. First, while it is fun for everybody to have their own power-up bands, you do not need to buy a power-up band for each person if you do not want to. With just one power-up band, up to 4 people are allowed to play the power-up band games. And one other thing I want to share with you about these power-up band games is that these power-up band games actually have different levels of difficulty. After you have beaten a game like this Goomba Crazy Crank game, the level of difficulty actually moves up. And some of your stamps will reflect that because your stamps will say that you have won a certain game on the hardest level of difficulty. And the last thing I want to share is that you can actually use the power-up bands at home with your Nintendo products. The power-up bands double as amiibos, and our kids were able to use them while playing Mario Kart on their Nintendo Switch to get new outfits for their characters.